This is Bampton as we know it today. But why was this site so suitable for the building of a town? And what can old maps tell us about it? Modern technology using a laser scan from the air, called LiDAR, allows us to see the basic landscape beneath modern buildings. You can see here, just above centre, the castle mound and below the line of the limestone quarries to the south. Lying between two rivers, the location was well provided with water meadows, downland pasture and oak forest, with underlying limestone and plentiful wild game. The wider area covers river crossings of both the Exe and the Bathom and gave access to the high moors to the north. The settlement would develop at the crossing of ancient routes from the ports of Barnstaple, Minehead and Watchet on the north coast to Exeter and the port of Topsham on the south. Ancient hill forts and enclosures have been identified close to Bampton. Here, near Birchdown, we see the earliest evidence of a possible Roman camp, and also here in crop marks at Cudmore Farm. The Saxon motte and later Norman castle in the town may indicate some strategic importance. But this is mainly conjecture, and of course they predate any recorded survey or mapping. However, a map is only reliable when based upon sound surveying techniques. Using only the earliest of instruments, the cross-staff, plane table and alidade, Christopher Saxton surveyed the county in 1579. The cherubs in this ancient woodcut are playing with a measuring chain invented by the Reverend Edmund Gunter in 1620. Saxton's maps and copies of his work by, for example, Speed in 1612, are pictorial, but also remarkably accurate. His first map of the area depicts a bridge at Bampton, an old name for Bampton, confirming the town's importance as a river crossing. Neither Saxton nor Speed showed any roads or tracks. These only appeared when Ogleby published his atlas in 1675. Ogilby's maps depicted a route between towns in a novel strip format. On the road from Dartmouth to Minehead, shown here, he describes the bridge at Bampton as a stone bridge over Bampton Flue. The cartouche on one of Ogilby's plates shows the compass head and perambulator used in surveying the routes, and the cupids still playing with Gunter's chain. 45 years later, in 1720, Owen and Bowen published strip maps based upon Ogilby's survey, augmented with local information. They now noted a stone bridge 5-arch over Bampton Flue. They also had some difficulty with the various names of the town. We shall see later that this bridge, seen here in a watercolour from around 1800, will become an important factor in the future development of our town. The routes described by Ogleby and Owen were based upon ancient routes or packhorse trails, improved and maintained by the parishes. In 1765, Benjamin Dunn surveyed and published his map of Devon, recording the first turnpike from Tiverton to Bampton. The turnpikes were created by trusts with the authority of Parliament in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. These trusts upgraded existing routes and built new ones, in return for the right to charge tolls, to accommodate the increasing traffic of horse-drawn coaches and heavy wagons. This detail from a survey for a turnpike of that time reveals the significance of Bampton's Bridge. The authority of the Tiverton Trust from the south and of the Minehead Trust from the north both ended at the approaches to the old bridge. A Minehead turnpike stone showing the exact distance can still be seen in Brook Street today. The five-arched stone bridge in Bampton was a packhorse bridge, far too narrow to allow wagons to cross. This surviving packhorse bridge in Leicestershire gives an idea of the structure. It is possible that the unique Bampton barrow, a single horse-drawn three-wheeled barrow used in the quarries, was also used to move goods and chattels across the narrow bridge. The development of the turnpike routes had a crucial effect on Bampton's prosperity. This map of 1809 has the old packhorse routes shown upon it. The routes show the town's connections to key trading areas. However, upgrading of the routes made by the Turnpike Trusts of Tiverton to the south, shown in green, and of Minehead to the north, shown in pink, were joined by Wiveliscombe Trust to the east, shown in red. Tiverton Trust was granted permission to build a new road from Tiverton to Exbridge following the River Exe, and this was completed in 1819, shown in dotted green. A link from the Exeter Inn to the southern approach to Bampton Bridge was also built. The old toll houses, shown here, are where the money was collected. Bampton was now effectively bypassed by north-south traffic, largely because of the restriction of the narrow bridge in the town. By an Act of 1825, the Wiveliscombe Trust not only received consent for a new route through Bampton from Wiveliscombe and continuing to South Moulton, shown dotted red on the map, but also took over from the Minehead Trust all roads within the town north of the river. With the completion of the new road in 1827, the first Royal Mail service between Barnstaple and London was established in September of that year, a great bonus for the town. The White Horse in Bampton was then a coaching inn to serve the mail coaches, their horses and occupants. As was reported in the Exeter and Plymouth Gazette of September 1828, the improvements on the new Wiveliscombe Turnpike Road, in the towns and villages through which it passes, exceed the most sanguine expectation. Great praise is due to the owners, occupiers of land, and inhabitants of Bampton, who, to forward the views of the post office and in expectation of a mail from this city, Exeter, through Tiverton to that village, have subscribed handsomely to erect a bridge of Bampton stone over the Bathom. The completion of the new wider bridge in 1829 allowed north-south coaches and wagons to pass through the town, and of course that bridge still exists today. This fascinating tithe map of 1842 shows the first detailed layout of the town, coupled with property ownership. Here you can see the toll house and the gates at the top of Britain Street. the new town mill and its leat, the new wider bridge across the Bampton, and Shutton Brook, which then ran openly down Brook Street, culverted under the approach to the bridge. At the other end of Brook Street, you can also see where the Shutton Brook passed underground in its path from Frog Street. This map is a really important historical record, and it heralds a period of major social and physical change. In 1791, the Ordnance Survey had begun its mapping of the southern counties, developing into a detailed survey of the whole country. This is part of one of the 8 sheets covering Devon at 1 inch to the mile, first published in 1809, the old series. Later, through various amendments, a period of enormous change is revealed. When we look at this later version of about 1840, we can see a stone quarry marked to the west of the town, the new South Moulton Road, and also the new Tiverton to Minehead Road, later to become the A396. It also shows the turnpike link from the Exeter Inn to the river bridge in Bampton. This map of about 1895 of the revised new series of the Ordnance Survey shows the railway which opened in 1884, running north-south through the town. Quarries are now shown to the south of the town, and in another level of detail some contours and heights above sea level are indicated. Although the age of steam had arrived, the map also showed the smithies and inns still needed to support travel by coach and horses. By 1907, the quality of the Ordnance Survey mapping was massively improved. Here you can see that the railway now has a goods shed, sidings, and a rail link to the quarries at the bottom of the screen. As well as the link to the quarries, this photo also shows a signal box and a siding on the right for unloading cattle for the nearby market. The station occupied a considerable area, and on the top left you can see the bridge carrying the main road to South Moulton and the west. On our 1907 map, the quarries can be seen here, now occupying a large part of the hills on the southeast of the town. Marked in red are a few of the lime kilns used to extract lime from the stone, valuable in agriculture and to make mortar. The map has such detail that it also shows the narrow-gauge tramways where loads of stone for the processing plant and railhead were pulled by ponies. The arrival of the railway had not only social and economic impacts on the town, but also changed its layout. Steam-powered transport by lorry and train allowed stone from the quarries to go to more distant customers, and the town became busy with its industry. Eventually, of course, this came to an end as more efficient road transport became popular and the quarries became uneconomic to work. The railway closed in 1963 and the quarries a little later. The scars of the excavations of the quarries and embankments of the railways required some major remodelling, seen in today's town. In the old abandoned quarry areas, There are now housing developments, such as here at Ashley Park, and another housing development at Scott's is the site of the stone crushing plant. The old rail siding to the quarries has now become a convenient and attractive footpath for residents. The sidings and goods yards are now a small industrial estate, and the area of the railway station has become the well-used town car park. Who can predict how our flourishing town will continue to develop from now on? What we can say for sure is that map makers, using ever more accurate and sophisticated technology, will be keeping Bampton firmly on the map.